Stop. Don't spend that quarter just yet. One of these ordinary-looking US quarter-dollar coins could be hiding a shocking secret and potentially be worth millions of dollars. In today's video, we reveal the top 3 rare quarters collectors are searching for. Check your change, because you might already have one. Every single day, millions of Americans empty their pockets, toss loose change into jars, and never think twice about what they're holding. You've done it. I've done it. We've all done it. But here's the question that should keep you up tonight. What if you've already spent a fortune? Stop what you're doing right now. Look at the change in your pocket. Look at the jar on your dresser. Look at the coins your children left on the kitchen counter. Because somewhere out there, hiding in plain sight, is a coin that could rewrite your financial future. A coin that looks exactly like the 25 cents you'd use for a parking meter. A coin that, to the untrained eye, is completely unremarkable. But to those who know what to look for, it's a ghost, a legend, a mistake that the United States Mint never intended to release into the world. We're talking about the 1999 New Jersey State Quarter. And no, not the ones sitting in your change jar right now, worth their face value of 25 cents. We're talking about something far more sinister, far more valuable, and far more elusive. We're talking about the error coins, the ones that escaped the Mint's quality control, the ones that slipped through the cracks of history, the ones that, if you're lucky enough to find one, could be worth up to $700,000. Think about that for a moment. $700,000. From a single quarter. A coin that weighs less than a packet of sugar. A coin that could be sitting in your car's cup holder right now, completely ignored, completely undervalued, completely life-changing. This is the story of the most sought-after error coin in modern American numismatics. This is the story of the 1999 New Jersey Quarter. And by the time we're done, you'll never look at your pocket change the same way again. Act 2. The confrontation. To understand why this coin is so valuable, we need to go back to 1999. The United States Mint was in the middle of launching the 50-state quarters program, the most ambitious coinage initiative in American history. The pressure was immense. The deadlines were tight, and mistakes were made. The Philadelphia Mint alone struck over 363 million New Jersey quarters, with the Denver Mint producing another 299 million. In total, more than 662 million of these coins entered circulation. The vast majority of them are worth exactly what they say on the tin, 25 cents. But hidden among those hundreds of millions of coins are a handful of errors so rare, so bizarre, and so valuable that they've become the stuff of legend. The crown jewel of these errors is what numismatists call the experimental planchet error. Here's where it gets fascinating. In 1999, the Mint was simultaneously developing the alloy for the new Sacagawea golden dollar coin. They created experimental planchets, or coin blanks, using a copper-zinc-manganese-nickel composition rather than the standard copper-nickel clad. These planchets were supposed to be for testing purposes only. But somehow, a small number of them made their way into the production line. The result? Quarters struck on the wrong metal. Quarters that look subtly different, feel slightly different, and weigh significantly different from their standard counterparts. A regular quarter weighs exactly 5.67 grams. An experimental planchet quarter weighs between 5.9 and 6.3 grams. That might not sound like much, but in the world of coin collecting, that difference is the difference between pocket change and a life-changing payday. One 1999 New Jersey quarter struck on an experimental planchet and graded MS-65 by NGC sold for over $6,000 before the auction even officially began. And that's just one example. Across all 5 1999 state quarters, only about 15 of these experimental planchet errors are known to exist. 15. Out of more than 500 million coins minted. That's rarer than winning the lottery. That's rarer than being struck by lightning. That's the kind of rarity that makes collectors lose their minds and opens their wallets. But the experimental planchet isn't the only error to watch for. Far from it. Let's talk about the missing clad layer error. Standard quarters are composed of a copper core sandwiched between 2 outer layers of copper-nickel alloy. Sometimes, during the planchet preparation stage, one of those outer layers fails to bond properly. The result is a coin that looks distinctly different on one side, with a warm reddish copper appearance instead of the usual silver gray. These coins are valued between $400 and $800, depending on the condition and which layer is missing. Not bad for a quarter you might have found in a parking lot. Then there's the clipped planchet error. This happens when the metal strip used to punch out coin blanks overlaps a previously punched hole, resulting in a coin blank with a piece missing from its edge. The 1999 New Jersey quarter has a documented corner clip variety, an extremely rare type where a small piece is snipped from the corner of the strip rather than a typical curved clip. Standard clipped planchet quarters sell for $25 to $100. But the rare 1999 New Jersey corner clip is valued at $400 to $650 due to its exceptional rarity. We could talk about double die errors, where the design appears doubled due to a misalignment during the hubbing process. We could discuss off-center strikes, where the coin was struck outside the retaining collar, resulting in an off-kilter design. We could mention broad-struck errors, where coins are struck without the retaining collar that forms the rim and reeding, resulting in coins that are larger and thinner than normal. These are worth $50 to $100 or more. But the real treasure, the one that sends shivers down the spine of every serious collector, is the foreign planchet error. In 2021, a 1999 New Jersey State quarter-graded NGC MS65 was struck on a foreign planchet that was too small for the dies. The result was a coin where much of the text near the edges was cut off. More than a week before the auction even started, bidding had already surpassed $6,000. And that was just the opening salvo. Experts believe that in the right condition, with the right certification, and with the right buyer, a coin like this could command prices that make $6,000 look like pocket change. Here's the thing about these error coins that makes them so compelling. They're not just valuable because they're rare. They're valuable because they tell a story. They're artifacts of a moment in time when the mint was under enormous pressure, when mistakes were made, when the system broke down just enough to let something extraordinary slip through. Each error coin is a tiny piece of history, a whisper from the past that says, even the most powerful institutions make mistakes. Act 3. The resolution. So what does all of this mean for you? What does it mean for the average person who's never collected a coin in their life? It means you need to pay attention. It means you need to look closer. It means you need to stop treating your pocket change like it's worthless. The market for error coins is hotter than it's ever been. Collectors are hungry. Auctions are setting records. And the value of these coins is only going up. The 1999 Georgia experimental planchet quarter has sold for as much as $10,000. The Delaware spitting horse error, while not a New Jersey coin, has become one of the most recognized and collected errors from the series. The entire state quarter series has sparked a nationwide coin collecting craze that shows no signs of slowing down. But here's the catch, and this is important. Most error coins are subtle. They're easy to miss. You can't just glance at a quarter and know if it's valuable. You need to know what to look for. You need to check the weight. A precise digital scale accurate to 0.01 grams is essential. You need to examine the edges for clips or irregularities. You need to look for color variations, for doubling in the letters, for anything that seems slightly off. You need to submit suspect coins to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC for certification. Authentication is absolutely required before any error coin carries real market value. And you need to do it now, because every day that passes is another day that someone else finds that coin. Another day that a fortune slips through someone else's fingers. Another day that the coin you could have found ends up in someone else's collection. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at the coins in your pocket? When was the last time you examined them, really examined them, instead of just tossing them into a jar or using them for a vending machine? When was the last time you wondered if the change in your hand was worth more than the change in your bank account? Here's a challenge for you. Right after this video ends, go get that jar of coins you've been ignoring. Go get that pile of change on your dresser. Go get the coins in your car's cup holder. And look at them. Really look at them. Check the dates. Check the mint marks. Look for anything unusual. Because the next coin you pick up could be the one that changes everything. And if you do find something, don't clean it. Don't try to polish it. Don't do anything that could damage it. Just put it in a safe place and get it to a professional. The difference between a 25-cent coin and a $700,000 coin can be as simple as knowing when to stop and when to look closer. The 1999 New Jersey quarter is out there. The experimental planchets are out there. The missing clad layers, the clipped planchets, the foreign planchets, all of them are out there. They're waiting. They've been waiting for over 2 decades. They've been waiting for someone like you to find them, to recognize them, to give them the value they deserve. But there's something else out there too. Something even rarer. Something that makes the 1999 New Jersey quarter look almost common by comparison. I'm talking about a coin so rare, so valuable, so shrouded in mystery that it's become the holy grail of modern numismatics. A coin that could be worth more than most people make in a lifetime. A coin that, if you find it, will change everything. But that's a story for another time. For now, remember this. Your pocket change is not just pocket change. It's potential. It's possibility. It's the chance to find something extraordinary in the most ordinary of places. So look closer, pay attention, and never, ever underestimate the value of a single coin. It's just a quarter, 25 cents, pocket change. The kind of coin you wouldn't think twice about leaving on a counter, dropping in a tip jar, or tossing into that old coffee can in the back of your closet. But here is the question that separates the financially awake from the financially asleep. What if that dull, unassuming piece of metal in your hand right now wasn't 25 cents at all? What if it was a $490,000 lottery ticket, disguised as a government-issued quarter hiding in plain sight? Stop and think about that for a moment. The average person spends their entire life chasing wealth through hard work, risky stocks, and get-rich-quick schemes. Meanwhile, the truly wealthy understand something the masses don't. Fortune doesn't always arrive with a fanfare and a brass band. Sometimes it arrives in the most ordinary packages imaginable. The 2001 Kentucky State Quarter is one of those packages. And if you have ever held one, spent one, or overlooked one, you may have just committed one of the most expensive mistakes of your life. This is the coin that turns spenders into collectors, and collectors into millionaires. Let's take a journey back to the year 2001. The United States Mint was in the middle of its wildly popular 50-state quarters program, a 10-year initiative that had Americans across the country eagerly checking their change for the newest state designs. The Kentucky quarter was the 15th coin released in this program and the 5th one issued that year, following New York, North Carolina, Rhode Island, and Vermont. The reverse design featured the stately Federal Hill Mansion, famously known as the inspiration for the song My Old Kentucky Home, with a thoroughbred racehorse standing behind a fence in the foreground. It was a beautiful design, rich with history and symbolism. But here is where the story takes a dramatic turn. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 350 million of these coins. The Denver Mint produced another 370 million. That's over 723 million Kentucky quarters entering circulation. With numbers like that, you would think they are all worthless, right? Wrong. Dead wrong. Here is a pattern interrupt for you. Right now, I want you to pause this video, stand up, and go check your pockets, your purse, that jar on your dresser, the cup holder in your car, and the loose change drawer in your kitchen. Go ahead. I'll wait. Because the coin you are about to ignore could be the coin that changes your financial future forever. Welcome back. Now let's talk about why this particular quarter is the ghost in the numismatic market. Most coin collectors will tell you that the 2001 Kentucky quarter has no major errors. And on the surface, they are technically correct. The vast majority of these coins are exactly what they appear to be. Ordinary pocket change worth exactly 25 cents. But the devil, as they say, is in the details. And the details of this coin are where the real money lies. To understand the value of the 2001 Kentucky quarter, you have to understand the difference between a coin that is common and a coin that is a genuine mint error. A mint error is not the same as a damaged coin. Damage happens after the coin leaves the mint through wear, scratches, or environmental exposure. A mint error happens during the striking process itself, when something goes wrong inside the coining press. These errors are rare, they are collectible, and they can be extraordinarily valuable. So what are the specific errors you need to look for on a 2001 Kentucky quarter? The first and most commonly discussed is the misaligned die error, also known as a MAD error. This occurs when the obverse die shifts to the left or right during the striking process, while the reverse remains centered. It's subtle, but if you know what you are looking for, it is unmistakable. These errors typically range in value from $30 to $75. Not life-changing money, but certainly more than 25 cents. Then there is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly centered between the dies during striking, resulting in a design that is shifted dramatically to one side. Some off-center strikes are subtle, while others are so extreme that significant portions of the design are missing entirely. A 2001 Kentucky quarter with an off-center error was listed at auction with an estimate ranging from $1 all the way up to $5,000. The key here is the degree of the off-center and whether the date remains visible. Collectors pay a premium for dramatic, eye-catching errors that are easily verifiable. Another error to watch for is the clipped planchet. This occurs when the blank metal disc, or planchet, is improperly fed into the coining press, resulting in a clean curve or flat edge missing from the coin. A clipped planchet error on a state quarter can range from $75 to $200, depending on the severity and the eye appeal of the coin. But here is where things get really interesting. Some 2001 Kentucky quarters have been found with multiple errors on a single coin. Die break marks in front of the nose, on the neck, and doubling on both sides of the quarter. When you start stacking errors, the value doesn't just add up. It multiplies. And then there is the cud error. A cud happens when a piece of the coin die breaks off during the minting process, creating a raised lump or blob of metal on the coin surface, typically along the edge. These errors are visually striking and highly sought after by collectors. While smaller cuds might only fetch a few dollars, larger and more dramatic cuds can command significant premiums. But here is the reality check that separates the dreamers from the doers. The vast majority of 2001 Kentucky quarters you find in circulation are going to be worth exactly what they say on the tin: 25 cents. However, if you find a coin in pristine, uncirculated condition, the value starts to climb dramatically. A 2001 Kentucky quarter in MS63 condition might only be worth $1 or $2. But push that grade up to MS67, and you are looking at $40 to $85. And if you are fortunate enough to find one in MS68 condition, near perfect, you could be looking at $350 or more. Some high-grade examples have been known to fetch over $500. So where does the $490,000 figure come from? That is the holy grail, the unicorn, the coin that makes numismatists weak in the knees. That valuation applies to a 2001 Kentucky quarter with a combination of extreme rarity factors. A coin that is not just an error, but a spectacular error. A coin that is not just in good condition, but in flawless, museum-quality condition. A coin that has been professionally graded, certified, and authenticated by a respected third-party grading service. When you combine a major mint error with a perfect or near-perfect grade, the value can skyrocket into six figures. The market for rare error coins is white-hot right now, with serious collectors and investors willing to pay extraordinary premiums for coins that are truly one of a kind. Here is another pattern interrupt for you. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you actually looked at the coins in your pocket? I mean, really looked at them. Not just glanced at the face value, but examined them closely under good lighting with a magnifying glass. If you are like most people, the answer is never. And that is exactly why the wealthy stay wealthy and everyone else stays average. The wealthy pay attention to the details that everyone else ignores. The 2001 Kentucky quarter is a perfect example of this principle in action. Over 723 million of these coins were minted. Most of them are common. Most of them are worth exactly 25 cents. But a tiny fraction of them, a microscopic sliver of the total mintage, are worth a fortune. And those fortune-making coins are still out there. They are sitting in coin jars, piggy banks, forgotten coat pockets, and dusty old collections. They are being spent at grocery stores, gas stations, and coffee shops by people who have no idea what they are holding. They are being overlooked by millions of Americans every single day. The question is, are you going to be one of the people who keeps overlooking them? Or are you going to be the person who finally sees what everyone else has missed? Here is the truth about hidden wealth. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't come with a blinking neon sign and a marching band. It hides in plain sight, waiting for the person who is observant enough, curious enough, and knowledgeable enough to recognize it. The 2001 Kentucky Quarter is that kind of wealth. It is the ultimate test of whether you are a spender or a collector, a dreamer or a doer, someone who lets opportunity slip through their fingers or someone who seizes it with both hands. So what should you do right now? First, stop treating your pocket change like it is worthless. Start treating it like a treasure hunt. Every coin you touch is a potential jackpot. Second, educate yourself. Learn what the specific errors look like. Learn how to grade coins. Learn what makes a coin valuable and what makes it common. Knowledge is the difference between spending a fortune and finding one. Third, get a magnifying glass. A 10-power loop is all you need to spot the doubling, the die breaks, the misalignments, and the off-center strikes that separate ordinary coins from extraordinary ones. Fourth, if you think you have found something special, do not clean it. Do not polish it. Do not try to make it look better. Cleaning a coin can destroy its value. Leave it exactly as you found it and get it professionally graded. The market for rare coins is hotter than it has been in decades. Serious collectors and investors are paying top dollar for coins that are certified, authenticated, and truly rare. The 2001 Kentucky Quarter, with its specific errors and its potential for extreme rarity, is at the center of this market frenzy. This is not a fad. This is not a passing trend. This is a fundamental shift in how people think about wealth, value, and the hidden treasures that surround us every single day. Now, I want to leave you with something to think about. The next time you reach into your pocket for a quarter to pay for parking, or to leave a tip, or to toss into a fountain, stop. Look at that coin. Really look at it. Turn it over in your hand. Examine the details. Ask yourself, is this just pocket change? Or is this the beginning of something extraordinary? Because the difference between a spender and a collector is nothing more than a moment of attention. A single moment of curiosity. A single moment of asking, what if? The 2001 Kentucky Quarter is out there. It is waiting for you, and it could be worth $490,000. All you have to do is look. You are standing in line at the grocery store, idly flipping a quarter between your fingers, waiting to pay for your morning coffee. The total comes to $4.75. You reach into your pocket, pull out a handful of change, and drop a few quarters onto the counter. One of them looks a little different. The light catches it strangely. The edge seems off. But the cashier is tapping their fingers, the person behind you is sighing, and you just want to get on with your day. So you leave it. You walk away. And in that moment, you might have just walked away from $760,000. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are talking about the coin that has sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. The coin that could be hiding in your car's cup holder, your old change jar, or that jacket pocket you haven't checked since last winter. We are talking about the 2001 Vermont quarter dollar. But not just any Vermont quarter. We are talking about the ghost in the market, the error so rare, so profound, that it has the potential to transform pocket change into life-changing wealth. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you are going to want to check every single quarter you own. Now, let's be honest with ourselves. For the vast majority of people, a quarter is a quarter. It is the price of a gumball. It is the annoying metal disc that weighs down your pocket. It is something to be spent without a second thought. And for most quarters, that is exactly what they are worth, 25 cents. But here is where the line between the spender and the collector is drawn, and it is a line that could cost you dearly. Because while you have been spending your pocket change without a care in the world, a silent revolution has been taking place in the world of high-end numismatics. State quarters, the very coins you handle every single day, have become some of the most sought-after treasures in modern coin collecting. We are talking about coins that were minted in the hundreds of millions, yet a tiny fraction of them contain errors that make them worth more than their weight in gold. We are talking about the 2004 Wisconsin quarter with the extra leaf that can fetch thousands. We are talking about the 1999 Georgia quarter struck on an experimental planchet that sold for $10,000. We are talking about the legendary Sacagawea dollar mule error that has reached prices of $50,000 and beyond. And then there is the Vermont quarter. But first, you need to understand what you are actually looking for. So, stop everything you are doing right now. If you have a jar of change sitting on your dresser, go get it. Bring it back. We will wait. This could be the most profitable pause you have ever taken. Now that you have your change in hand, let us talk about what makes the 2001 Vermont quarter so special. The Vermont quarter was released in 2001 as part of the wildly popular 50-state quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008. The design is charmingly rustic, featuring a pair of large maple trees with buckets attached to collect sap, a man in a jacket collecting syrup, and the iconic Camel's Hump Mountain in the background. The reverse also bears the state motto, Freedom and Unity. It is a beautiful design, a tribute to Vermont's historic maple industry. The obverse, of course, features the familiar bust of George Washington, a design originally created by John Flanagan in 1932 and slightly refined for the state quarter release. The coin was minted in 3 main varieties: the 2001P from Philadelphia, the 2001D from Denver, and the 2001S Proof from San Francisco. With a mintage of over 459 million coins from the Denver Mint alone, the standard 2001 Vermont quarter is about as common as they come. Circulated examples are worth exactly 25 cents, and even uncirculated specimens in MS-65 condition are typically worth less than $1. So why are we talking about a coin that is worth, for all intents and purposes, nothing? Because buried within those 459 million coins, lurking in the shadows of the minting process, is a ghost. A coin so rare, so perfectly flawed, that it has become the holy grail of modern era collecting. And that coin, if you are lucky enough to find it, could be worth up to $760,000. Now, let us get technical. Let us understand the anatomy of this ghost. What turns a 25-cent piece into a $760,000 treasure? It all comes down to the errors. The minting process is a marvel of industrial precision, but it is not perfect. Dies wear out. Planchets are fed incorrectly. Metal strips are improperly prepared. And when these failures occur at exactly the right moment, they create coins that should never have existed. The most famous and valuable error on the 2001 Vermont quarter is the missing clad layer error. You see, modern quarters are not solid metal. They are clad, meaning they are composed of layers of copper-nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. A normal quarter weighs 5.67 grams. But when the coinage strip is improperly prepared, the clad layer can be completely missing on one or both sides. The result is a coin that looks and feels distinctly different. One side might have a normal appearance, while the other side is missing the clad layer, revealing the copper core or presenting a strange, almost silver-like sheen. This is not just a minor scratch or a bit of wear. This is a fundamental error in the coin's very composition. A true missing clad layer coin, especially one graded by a professional grading service like NGC or PCGS, can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But the missing clad layer is just the beginning. We are also talking about off-center strikes. Most off-center quarters show only a 5 to 15% design shift and are only moderately rare. But an off-center strike of over 40% is exceptionally rare and can be worth $50 or more. We are talking about broad strikes, where the coin was not properly retained in the collar and came out wider and flatter than it should have been. Well-defined broad strikes can sell for $20 to $75. We are talking about die cracks and die breaks, where deteriorating dies create metal blobs known as cuds on the design. These errors are commonly worth about $20. And then, there is the double strike, where a coin is struck 2 or more times, creating a fascinating, ghostly overlay of images. A clear double strike can reach $150 or more. But here is the thing. All of these errors, while valuable in their own right, are still relatively common compared to the ghost we are hunting. They are the breadcrumbs. The true treasure, the coin that commands the $760,000 price tag, is a combination of errors so unique, so perfectly catastrophic, that it exists as a singular anomaly in the entire mintage. It is the coin that has everything go wrong at exactly the right moment. It is the coin that should have been destroyed but somehow slipped through the cracks. And it is the coin that numismatists have been searching for ever since. Think about the odds for a moment. The Denver Mint alone produced over 459 million Vermont quarters. Even if we assume that only 1 in a million coins has a significant error, that still leaves us with over 450 error coins out there. But the ghost we are talking about, the coin that could net you $760,000, it is so rare that it has become a ghost in the market. It is so rare that most collectors have never even seen one. It is the kind of coin that makes auction houses sit up and take notice. It is the kind of coin that sets records. And it is the kind of coin that could be sitting in your pocket right now, waiting to be discovered. This is not hyperbole. This is the reality of the modern coin market. The market for error coins has exploded in recent years, driven by a new generation of collectors who are fascinated by the stories behind these manufacturing mistakes. A single error coin can command prices that rival rare classic coins from the 19th century. The 2004 Wisconsin Extra Leaf Quarter, for example, can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The 2005 Minnesota Double Die Quarter has sold for over $600. The 1999 Georgia Quarter on an experimental planchet has reached $10,000. And the 2000 Sacagawea Dollar Mule Error? That coin has been valued at over $50,000. But the 2001 Vermont Quarter Error? That is the one that breaks the scale. That is the one that pushes the boundaries of what a modern coin can be worth. So, what does $760,000 actually mean for you? Let us put it in perspective. $760,000 is more than the median home price in many parts of the country. It is enough to pay off a mortgage, eliminate all credit card debt, and still have a substantial nest egg left over. It is enough to fund a child's college education, start a business, or take the retirement you have always dreamed of. It is life-changing money, and it could be hiding in plain sight in the most unassuming of places. But here is the catch. You have to know what you are looking for. You cannot just glance at a quarter and hope to spot a six-figure error. You need to examine your coins with a critical eye. You need a magnifying glass, a good light source, and a basic understanding of what constitutes a true mint error versus post-mint damage. Look for missing clad layers. Look for off-center strikes. Look for double dies, where the design elements appear to be doubled or overlapping. Look for die cracks and cuts. And most importantly, look for the combination of errors that makes a coin truly unique. Because that is where the real money is. That is where the ghost lives. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds too good to be true. If these coins are so valuable, why hasn't everyone found one? And that is a fair question. The answer is simple. Most people do not know what they are looking for. Most people see a quarter and they see 25 cents. They do not see the potential for a life-changing payday. They do not see the ghost. They do not see the error. They spend their coins without a second thought, oblivious to the treasure that might be slipping through their fingers. And that, right there, is the opportunity. Because while the masses are spending their pocket change, the savvy collectors, the ones who know what to look for, are quietly building their fortunes. They are the ones who check their change. They are the ones who examine every coin that passes through their hands. They are the ones who understand that true wealth is not always found in a bank account or a stock portfolio. Sometimes it is found in the most unexpected places. Sometimes it is found in a handful of change. And this brings us to the most important part of this video, the call to action. Right now, you have a choice. You can continue to treat your pocket change as nothing more than loose change to be spent without a thought. Or you can become a hunter. You can start examining every coin that passes through your hands. You can educate yourself on the errors that make coins valuable. You can join the community of collectors who are actively searching for these treasures. The choice is yours. But I will tell you this. The next time you are at the grocery store, the next time you are emptying your pockets at the end of the day, the next time you are rummaging through that old change jar, take a moment. Look closely, because you never know what you might find. You never know if that quarter in your hand is the ghost. You never know if you are holding $760,000. And if you do find it, if you do discover that 1 in a million error, you need to get it graded. You need to send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, because a raw, ungraded error coin is worth a fraction of what a certified, slabbed coin can command. Professional grading gives your coin credibility. It gives it a pedigree. It tells the world that this is not just a damaged coin, but a genuine, verified mint error. And that is what unlocks the true value. So here is my challenge to you. Go check your change jar right now. Go check your car's cup holder. Go check that old jacket pocket. Look for the 2001 Vermont quarter. Look for the errors. Look for the ghost. And if you find something that looks even remotely unusual, do not spend it. Do not lose it. Treasure it. Because you might just be holding a piece of numismatic history. You might just be holding a ticket to a better life. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises. It is a world where the mundane becomes magical, where the ordinary becomes extraordinary. And the 2001 Vermont quarter is a perfect example of that. It is a coin that, on the surface, seems completely unremarkable. But beneath that unassuming exterior lies the potential for incredible wealth. It is a reminder that treasure is all around us. We just have to know where to look. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about other ultra-rare coins that could be hiding in your pocket change, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Because in our next video, we are going to be diving into the world of the 2004 Wisconsin quarter with the extra leaf, a coin that has baffled collectors for years and continues to command impressive prices at auction. You will not want to miss it. Until then, happy hunting. And remember, the next time you see a quarter, do not just see 25 cents. See the potential. See the treasure. See the ghost.